Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Bold Donut from Machinination.com, and welcome back again to the Machinination podcast. It's been, I believe, over a year since we've done the last one, and I'm glad to actually get it back up and running. Today on the podcast, we are joined by,
Bradley Smith, otherwise known as Bradster1067. Not sure why I said my full name.
Nadalo7, otherwise known as Andrew Bluette.
Die. Hi.
and of course, we promise that if we decide to do some stories from Dial, we will let you know before he starts telling your stories. You okay with that, Dial?
Okay, but they just sort of poop out of my mouth.
We have to fulfill the status quo.
But anyway, so yes, the Machination podcast is back. We are going to be turning this into a new, well, I guess it's not new. It's what's this, the third or fourth time we've restarted it?
I think it might
Third
be the fourth.
iteration, I think.
Yeah. But anyways, the Machination podcast will be back on a monthly basis. We're going to try to get some special guests in eventually and maybe do some more things with it. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to let us know. We're always looking for new and great ways to improve the work that we do because if you don't listen, well, there's no reason for doing this, is there? So, I guess let's start off with the first big topic, and it's sort of been something that we've been discussing here and there for I think over a year now. It sort of fell through at the last minute last year, but I think we're going to get a lot of people together for it this year. Is the 2014 RTX convention, which
Whoa.
I believe will probably once again be held in
Austin.
Austin, Texas. Mission Nation wants to see if we can get a group of 7 or 8 people together to sort of come and, put a face behind or put a face on, the people that are currently frequently in the site. I know that I'm going to try as hard as I can to get there. How about you guys?
I
Definitely.
will.
Oh yeah.
I do not have a job, but I will ask for money for Christmas and my birthday.
I will hike across this country.
You know,
And
I
I
was
will walk
oh,
500
500
miles.
miles.
And I would walk 500 more.
I don't think we have a copyright for that.
That's why I stopped.
Great, here comes the FBI.
But anyways, so if you're interested or if you are already planning on going to RTX and would like to meet up with us, make sure you head on over to the forums and join the discussion. There's also a Skype group, so if you are interested, make sure you definitely post that you're interested in going and potentially meeting up with us so that we can add you to our Skype group and you can get filled in on all the information regarding who's going to be there and if we're going to do any special activities. And of course, we'll keep you updated here on the podcast if we actually decide to do any group activities besides potentially just meeting up one day. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
You get
We
to
already
meet
have.
me. Come on.
I I'm hoping for several things. One, we actually go to RTX. Two, we get to play an all-night game of Monopoly. And three, we all go and hit the town and either go to IHOP or Five Guys Burgers and Fries.
But my question is, would you rather play Monopoly, which in the end of the night we'll all hate each other, or would you rather just get it done quicker and just play Mario Party, in which case we'll all hate each other in
Yes.
about five
Oh,
minutes?
Oh, Mario
okay.
Party. I will bring my Wii then.
Who's bringing the console? Which
I'll
Mario
bring it.
Party are we playing?
I don't know. Maybe we can
The
figure
good
that
one,
out, but
whichever one
oh my
that is.
god.
I mean, I have a Wii. If
Yeah, I have a Wii too. Someone just for the fuck of it, someone should bring a Sega Saturn and Sonic Shuffle so we can hate each other even more.
Oh god.
God. I think we we actually were already talking about accommodations already. I mean, I don't know about putting 4 people in a room, but that would be
That would be a lot.
that'd be definitely be saving money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking of me, Brad, Falco, and Charlie would be staying in one room. It'd be the Adventure Squad HQ. We'd put like a paper sign up on the door, and we'd get like a poster or something to hang up while we were staying.
Oh,
You should just like I should creep around the convention like, ah, there they are.
Yeah. Me and Neil had the idea of sitting outside somewhere with guitars and a sign saying we're not poor, but
We're not poor. We just want to play.
with the hat just in case. But
Yeah, and like I'll wear a pinstripe suit with a pinstripe fedora while I just play the bass.
I mean,
Maybe I'll get some
there's stuff.
sunglasses. We'll be the Blues Brothers or something.
I think the best idea we've had though is do shorts in the hotel room, bring cameras, and just have fun.
Yeah, it's something definitely to bring cameras to.
Who gets to room with me?
I
Rock
volunteer
paper,
Bolt.
scissors.
I'll keep him under control.
Oh.
Oh my.
Oh.
Oh. Oh God, this will be now.
Okay. So moving on from that, one of the things that we had attempted to get up and running previously, about what, 6 or 7 months ago, was the concept of Around the Nation, which would be a bi-weekly video that sort of highlights everything that's going on around the nation. So, in the 2 weeks between each episode, if you've made a video, if you've, voice acted in something, or even if you've joined the website, we would sort of highlight just what's going on with the community at large. And it's sort of a more in depth podcast, but it's very short, maybe 5 or 6 minutes tops. And it would just highlight all the work that we've done as a community, which, even though we're not a huge community, we actually we produce a lot of stuff off site. So, anyways, Around the Nation will be coming back. Don't know exactly when yet. Probably mid-November. Currently working on finishing up all the graphics, so that it can be a very quick and formulaic thing, so that we don't miss anything. So we don't miss a deadline for getting the videos up and
If I could,
whatnot.
if I could say something about Around the Nation, it makes me the name alone makes me think of a one of those maritime war films where it's like, and now Around the Nation, and it's all in sepia tone, and it's got that really upbeat narrator.
If we can find someone to voice act that, that would be awesome.
There's
If
someone. I'm
you
sure.
can't, I'll volunteer.
Oh yeah,
We're
and
doing
now
that.
for
We're
around the
doing that for
nation.
one.
All right, all
We're gonna
right,
do it now.
Around the nation.
and
And
now
thus, around the
Around
nation.
the Nation.
Oh my god, that's
I'll totally
perfect.
do that.
We
Like
should
have
do a skit.
interviews.
We should do like skit part. All the news segments in like Family Guy.
Yes.
It should be that sort of carefree thing, or have like a weather guy who's just like crazy, something like
How
that.
many how many members we get this week, Ollie? 5.
18.
How many are active? 10. What? I don't know.
Uh,
Cool.
idea.
So, okay, so another thing that is coming back is game nights. I know a lot of people have been clamoring for game nights for a couple months now, and we've even tried to do some with not a whole lot of success. But one of the things that we're going to try to start doing is we're going to have a monthly game night on various platforms. Uh, so, for instance, I know one of the games a lot of people are very, very interested in doing a game night in is Star Wars Battlefront 2. It's a very old game at this point, and almost every computer can play it, and you can buy it on Steam for, I
Ten.
think, a reasonable price now.
Yeah, $10. But whenever it goes on sale, it can be anywhere from $5 to even 250.
Yeah, I think I picked it up
It
for
is
250
cheap.
during the summer sale, but
Yeah.
um, anyways, if you've always wanted to play Battlefront 2 with a lot of people that you know, and also a lot of people that like to troll, just kidding.
Bolt.
The
uh,
king of trolls may be in this chat.
anyways, we are considering doing a at least one Battlefront 2 um, game night. Sorry, I had a brain fart. And also, of course, we would of course be doing Halo 3 game nights. Going back to the classics,
Yeah,
especially now
we
that
do. We
Halo 3 was released for free with the Xbox. What's it called? Xbox
Games
Games
for
for
Gold.
Gold. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it like not much longer, but Halo 3 is currently free depending on when this podcast actually comes out. Go ahead and download it, and two of the DLCs are free. So
There
That is,
is
if you
no
don't already
excuse.
have a,
yeah,
I know if
if
you don't
you're
already
one
have a physical copy
if
like
you're one of
everyone
the
else on.
5 people.
Well, I know a lot of people actually. I know from personal experience myself. My original Halo 3 disc actually got destroyed just for use. Granted,
uh,
I didn't take extremely good care of it, but just over the amount of time that I've spent on Halo 3, it's actually I actually broke the disc.
yeah, my disc is scuffed. My original campaign disc and a little bit of my mythic disc from ODST, they're scuffed from use. But then again, I blame that on the 360 because that seems to happen to all my games on the 360.
Yeah. I don't know why the 360 seems to scratch up discs. It makes me
Uh,
wonder I wonder if the Xbox One's going to have that issue. Granted,
I don't think so because they're
I,
Blu-rays and they're very, very hard to scuff in comparison to the DVD.
yeah. Plus, I think Microsoft learned their lesson a little bit.
Yeah, don't rush the fucking console, even though, hey, they are rushing their console in one sense, and so is Sony.
yeah. Well, another thing that I think is going to be interesting to see with this transition to the new Xbox One, or if you decide to part ways, because that always sort of happens with these sort of console generations. People will switch back and forth between consoles. One thing that I'm very interested in seeing is how it actually affects machinima as a whole. Because if you look at it, the Xbox One and the PS4 will only export, if correct me if I'm wrong, only sends out signal through an HDMI cord. I'm
Yes,
right on that, correct?
yes.
At
So,
least, no, the PS4 has component, at
okay.
least,
Really?
I think. But,
So, at least for every person who is currently making Halo machinima, for the most part, if you've been around at least for a year, chances are all your equipment is going to be, component. I mean, my Hapag is currently component. And if I ever want to go back to making
mm,
machinima, which obviously I do, if I want to do it on the Xbox One, I'm gonna have to buy a completely new Hapag. And granted, they're
gotta
out
get
there, and they're not as expensive as they
gotta
used to
get the
be.
Hop Hog too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's the Hapag running for like now? I think 125 on Amazon.
I think anywhere between 120 and 160 the PBR2 goes for.
Yeah, well, I remember when I first got my Hapag 4 years ago. Uh, it cost me $250.
Yeah, now
I
it's
mean,
like 200 at the max.
yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm a techie guy. I mean, my job actually currently, I work with video equipment. It's amazing to see how the price I mean, I'm not saying that it's cheap. I mean, $100 is still $100, but in comparison of what it used to be, it's actually quite a steal at this point.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, absolutely.
I do hope though. I forget. Actually, it might have been you, Andrew, that we're discussing in the forums. I think something similar to this, that the Xbox One actually might block the signal from the Hapag from being read or something like that.
Actually, it's been confirmed that no, that is not true. The PS4 was going to, and then Sony pulled back on it. So with the, I think it's either a day one update or an update like after maybe a month or a few weeks that you can record PS4 through HDMI.
Okay.
PS3, however, you cannot record through HDMI unless you have a workaround, which isn't too expensive.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
actually, one thing I think is going to be interesting to see with this next generation coming out, is what actually happens with these capture cards. I've been working a lot with Aja cards and Blackmagic uh, sort of technology at my workplace. And by working with it, you sort of learn how much some of these things cost. And I know that Rooster Teeth currently uses Blackmagic to record all of their Let's Plays and everything straight into Final Cut Pro.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, the I believe some of the Blackmagic cards are now going for $300. And granted, the Hapag records video for YouTube perfectly fine,
Yeah.
but for a couple extra bucks, you can get, basically the shit of the shit when it comes to ripping video straight from a HDMI cord. So I'm sort of going to be interested to see how that plays out over the next couple of years. Whether we're going to see, these sort of these video, I guess they're called pass-through devices, will. Oh, we just lost someone.
Huh?
Whether these things will actually continue to, stay external, or whether they're going to start moving internally into computers.
Do you want to buy my Blackmagic Intensity Pro?
No.
I didn't know you had one.
No, I don't, but I work with them at my work.
No, I was talking to Dial.
Oh, you have one dial?
Yeah,
How
I
does it
bought
work?
it I haven't used it in about 3 years.
Oh,
It worked, though.
well,
It worked well.
how much was it, and does it do HDMI or?
I think it was $200.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, it's HDMI,
Oh.
I think. Wait, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
We will write it in the description.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, I can definitely see HDMI is becoming the standard more and more rapidly. That's not a bad thing, but with the next generation doing let's plays and recording for machinima, it's going to be more expensive because HDMI capture devices, pass-through devices, they're becoming more current, and some are more expensive than components and RCA stuff, which RCA is out of date already.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, whenever someone new comes into Machinination or just in general asks me for help with getting started, I almost never recommend standard definition at this point because
Because no
I
one takes
think,
you seriously.
yeah, well, I think the other thing too is the cheapest HD solution for recording component, I think is about $50 to $75 now, isn't it?
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I remember Machinima.com was advertising one of them for the longest time, and I think that one's come down to $80 on Amazon. There's the amount of these devices because of all of these, as Ray from Rooster Teeth would say, all these Call of Duty montage that no one watches.
Oh yeah.
Basically, they've just proliferated, um, and the amount of various forms that they come in. Now, granted, some of the cheaper ones, they won't give you the best quality. But then again, we're talking about YouTube here, which YouTube in general, I mean, you never want to record anything above 720, and the compression rate on YouTube's just so small it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Um,
And yet you still have people that are recording 1080p videos and then up converting it to 2 to 4K.
yeah,
What?
yeah.
Really?
If you are doing that, please stop. There is absolutely
There's
no reason for you to be actually doing that.
Yeah, like I've watched there's this guy I watch Everglow 8444 who this is his second channel. He's been doing nothing but recording walkthroughs of all the Kingdom Hearts games, and he's been doing the HD 1.5 remix. And for like his last few videos, at least on the Japanese version, he recorded in 1080p, and then he said, and then he put it in quote unquote original resolution. So I don't know how much that is. It could be 1440 for all I know. But
You see,
why?
the thing is, I mean, this is what I deal with at my job. When you up convert something, even if it's to its native format, if it's recorded at a 1080 and you upres it to a 4K, I mean, granted, on YouTube, you won't notice the difference between the 4K that they've uploaded and the 1080. But the thing is, it won't look any better because that information is simply lost. It's
Yeah,
it's like if you're using a film camera or if you're using a microphone and you're too hot, the information's not there. It's just gone.
yeah,
So yeah, if you're doing that, stop. You're making these huge files on your computer and, overloading YouTube for literally no reason.
yeah. And that reminds me further. There was this clip I found. If anyone here doesn't know, I'm a huge fan of the Dragon Ball series, and one of my favorite scenes in Dragon Ball Z is when Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan 3. I was looking up that clip on YouTube, and the maximum resolution I think you can actually get that in is 480p because it's only been released on DVD as the highest quality so far. And someone uploaded it, up converted to 4K.
Yeah.
Oh,
I bet you.
it
Oh
probably
God.
looked. It looked
Why?
awesome.
Like
I
it's
mean,
not.
it's not possible.
It
It
probably looked really
it
awful.
didn't. No, it looked decent. It's just why.
It's not going to the cinema, man.
I think maybe you can purchase it legally at 1080p, but even then, why?
Yeah.
Is
No,
is he trying to get it on
my
cinema?
favorite my favorite thing that I've been seeing recently is I don't know if you guys follow the GoPros. These new GoPro what's I
Oh
think it's
my
the HD
gosh.
Hero 3 can
Yeah.
do 2.5K, which is like
And
okay, that
it
looks
can do. Oh my
I mean
god.
it looks great, but the problem with the 2.5K when you're putting it on YouTube is no one cares about it. Honest
Yeah,
to God, no one. I mean,
No one could
it,
even play that.
I mean, if you disagree with us, tell us in the comments because I know I never go above 720p, and the only reason I go to 720p is if I'm watching it like a full HD on my monitor. Beyond that, there's no reason to really go to 4K because it won't look any different on your screen unless you have a very, very expensive, very nice monitor to
yeah.
Yeah.
watch that.
Which
Or-
computer monitors today? I think the maximum resolution that is commercially available is like 1440p.
Yeah, that's sort of the max that I've seen around. I think Sony, I mean, Sony sells everything,
They have
fancy.
they've got 4K TVs and you can
Yeah,
hook up to HDMI through that, but
I
yeah.
mean, 4K is really interesting, but I think in terms of future technologies and just where we are right now, there is no reason to really get excited about it. Now, granted, if you have a film camera and you're going to start filming 4Ks, granted, there's reasons you would want to film it in 4K. However, for any of the purposes that a normal person is working on, 4K is just too much right now. And not
yeah,
to mention,
Yeah.
if you can afford it, good for you. Go ahead, future proof yourself. But I
yeah,
mean, all that stuff's going to come down in price really
yeah.
soon.
For me, 1080p editing is much like I have a camcorder. It's my first camcorder, my first video camera, and it does 1080p. And I've worked out the interlacing issues recently, and I don't render in 1080p anymore. Like I did a couple times just to test it. I do it 720p because it's capable of doing it, and that's all I really need is 720.
Yeah, and something.
That and so my laptop doesn't hate me.
Well, the other thing too that you can do is if you take that 1080 file and then you downres it into a 720p file, that 720p file will look even better because it has more information in a smaller space.
I have to learn how to do that.
But that's this is this whole HD thing where if you don't know what resolution you're doing or that you want to do, seriously, for YouTube, 720 is what you should do. And as far as I'm aware, it's what YouTube still recommends that you actually do on their help center. I mean, 1080p, there really isn't a reason to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks nice, but it doesn't look much nicer than 1080p on YouTube or 720p on YouTube.
Yeah,
So so
And
down go on.
if you're uploading 2K and 4K stuff on YouTube, then what the hell are you doing?
I mean,
That
it's just sort of if you want to do it. Really, the only reason like on YouTube you would ever want to put something like that up is if that's what its native frame rate is and you're trying to get the best YouTube look possible. But for the most part, one, no one can view it properly, and two, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. Um,
or if you've got that $2 million IMAX home theater,
Yeah.
now,
Brad.
before
I
anyone says anything, I would like to point out if you are uploading something to a website such as Vimeo, which has a really great compression software that actually preserves the look of your image, that is when you're going to want to keep that video as a 1080 file. Because there, people want to see 1080 footage. They want to see that 4K footage. They want to see the best picture possible. But generally speaking, Machinima doesn't go to Vimeo because Vimeo charges money if you get their I mean if you don't you know if you actually want to start a presence on Vimeo you have to pay money, and honest to God there's no reason to do that because most people don't watch Machinima on Vimeo.
And even then, Machinima is not for money. At least not the ones that we focus on.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's counterintuitive in all respects.
yeah, but anyways, There are a few other topics I think we should go over when it comes to at least talking about what's going on with the nation.
Well, before we move on, just back to game nights for a sec. A couple other games that we probably could do game nights for. I was thinking Planet Side 2, if people could run it.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's I don't know.
Yeah,
That would be
because
fun if we could
I
get a full server going, but
yeah, we can't get a full server, but if we get like
we will
maybe 10,
try.
if we get 10 people for that, or at
Get
least
some nice
five,
squads going.
yeah, because I know Dial, you can play Planet Side 2, can't you?
Yeah.
Bold, you can, right?
Yeah, I can play any game.
Yeah, I can play Planet Side 2. Shoop can. Charlie can. That's 5 people right there.
So if you're
So
interested in PlanetSide 2, give us a call.
But my computer is falling apart. Like just today, the second blade of on the top of my top fan broke off, and now my computer is vibrating.
You should replace that
boo.
fan, dude.
What
Ooh.
do I have to? Will it break my computer? Will the
It
vibrating do something to the computer?
it could.
Oh,
You can get a fan for about $5.
but yeah, but that's $5 I don't have.
Oh,
Oh shit, man.
you might just wait. Is it on the top of your computer like
Yeah,
an upper vent? Oh, just
yeah,
unplug the damn fan then. Open your computer up and unplug it.
but
Yeah.
my side fan also broke, like a long time ago. All I have is my back fan.
Yeah, you need some fans. Your computer's gonna melt
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, he needs something.
He's gonna have computer soup in his room soon.
Bold, from your opinion, what would be the absolute cheapest for a fairly competent gaming computer?
I mean, okay, so granted, before I go into this, I need to make sure that everyone's aware. No one is sponsoring this. We do not do sponsorships.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, I always recommend that people build their own if they can. If you if you're not comfortable with building your own and you want to buy the most powerful system for the most bang for your buck that's reliable, I recommend Acer since I've had very good luck. I've had two Acer computers in the past, and the only reason they're no longer with me is because I built my own computer and sold them to buy parts. Um, but you can buy an Acer rig with a modern day i7 processor, 32 gigs of RAM, and a nice video card for about $1,000. But I mean, depending on what your budget is, Acer and Asus tend to be your best options.
Hmm.
Whatever you do, do not buy Alienware.
Yeah.
No,
Um,
no, no,
No.
no, no. Holy
it's more
shit.
money than you could throw. It's a waste of money. And while you may have a cool case, you're paying way too much for that damn cool case. You
Has
can, yeah, you can build your own cool case that way. Just buy a pre-made computer, buy your own case, and light it however the hell you want, and then stick all the gubbins in.
You know something's fucked up when Macs start to cost more than Alienware.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so in
Uh-oh.
Apple defense, I actually, when it comes to working with media in a
Oh
professional
yeah,
setting,
then it's good.
you need
Yeah.
to. It's pretty much Mac is the only way to go. But I mean, for Machinima and what, for the most part, everyone listening to the podcast is doing, you're gonna want a PC still. I cannot personally recommend Windows 8 since I have it right now and I hate it.
Windows 7's the way to go
Yeah, Windows 7 is still the system that everyone's going to be using for quite a while.
until
ha-
Windows 9 because Microsoft has that pattern where they release a good one, then a bad one, then a good one, then a bad one, and it keeps going.
Yeah. Well, I'm still hopeful for Windows 8. I mean, if anyone here had Vista when it was out,
Oh
at
man.
the end
Oh,
of
that was fun.
Vista, the end of Vista, Vista actually was a pretty solid platform. I actually had very few problems at the end of Vista.
In
Um,
in in fairness, yeah, I do have a Vista computer, and it is now pretty solid.
yeah, I mean, Vista. The biggest problem was that none of the applications that came with it, the developers didn't have enough time to really get the updates going at start. So, I mean, that was the biggest problem at first. You would install Vista, and all of a sudden, all of your applications and all your video, everything would just stop working essentially. My twin sister actually got a Vista day one, and I remember my mom screaming and cursing in the other room because she couldn't get anything to work.
You have a twin sister?
I am a twin, yes.
Oh my god.
Fun
Now
fact of the day. And
it's
no, before you ask, we do not look alike.
goddamn. There are two bold donuts. There's
Ah.
bold donut and bold apple crumble. No, bold donut and sassy apple crumble. My bad.
um,
um,
okay, so going back sort of to the topic of game nights, one of the things that a lot of people on the nation might not actually know is that a lot of the longtime members of Machinination actually play a lot of games together. So this is sort of where I'm going to say, hey, if you're new to the community, and also if you've listened this far in the podcast, um, you should really look into the Listomania section on uh, Machinination's forums. It has a lot of Xbox gamer tags. I think we have a PSN one, but I don't think it's populated very well.
Oh no.
We also have Skype going, and there's ways to connect with people.
Yeah,
And one of the
Facebook,
things I think a
Twitter.
lot of people, especially when they're new to the nation, is they come in and they say, "Oh, I want help with X, Y, and Z," and they just ask for it, expecting someone to take the time to come up to them and say, "I will help you." While it'd be nice if that happened, I mean, let's
It
be honest
doesn't.
with ourselves. That's not going to happen. What you need to do is go to the Listomania section and contact people all around the nation. Because once you make that contact with someone like me, I can direct you to people that have contacts or to people that that can help you out. Or hell, I myself might even help you out.
Ooh.
Do not ask me for help currently because I probably do not have the time to help you. Because I'm working on a lot of stuff with the website and with work. But anyways, yes, if you are new to the nation, check out the Listomania section. We're going to start updating it and adding a few more lists. I think one of the more recent lists that a lot of us with the new Pokemon games have been asking for is the Nintendo DS friend system
Yeah, the
for friend
3DS friend
codes.
code.
Um, so if you are new to the site or if you're old to the site and haven't even checked it out yet, make sure you head on over to the Listomania section and check it out. It's really worth your time, and also you'll get to meet all the other members of Mission Nation on a different surface, which
Yeah,
is
'cause-
kind of
yeah,
nice.
especially when you really get to know us. Because I came back to the nation it was early last year. I came back after like a year or so of inactivity, and I connected with so many people, and it really is a great experience. Take it from me.
Not to mention, you will probably run into me in GTA Online if you
Oh
have
boy.
GTA, which
Which I do not,
I think anyone who's played with me on Grand Theft Auto will be able to tell you that there are always fun times when Bold's in the party.
and that's putting it
Uh,
lightly.
let me just say one thing. Put all your cash in the bank. There you go.
4 planes in 4 seconds.
4 planes in 4 seconds. What?
Okay,
Totally.
so because people will ask about this, I don't remember Brad. I don't think you were there. But Falco, I think it was Falco, Shoop, PT, and I were playing the one GTA 5 mission where uh, there's a bunch of people on a dirt bike running from aircraft, and
Oh.
the host, who was the guy on the bike, left it so that you could switch teams. So we said, "Oh, let's be completely unfair and have this one guy be on the bike and all four of us chasing after him."
Bastard.
So what happened? We all took off. We got off the ground fine, and there's four of us flying sort of like a crappy formation towards him. The two people up front crash into each other. I crash into the side of the mountain while trying to avoid them, and I think Falco crashed into a tree while trying to avoid him as well. And then the guy literally drives right through the wreckage on all our dead cams. And so literally within 30 seconds of this game, this guy on the bike, he doesn't even have to go anywhere. All the planes are burning, crashed on the ground, dead because we all either crashed into each other or just crashed into the mountain while trying to avoid him. Um, which, by the way, speaking of GTA 5, if you have Grand Theft Auto and you would also like to connect with us on that, but don't want to send us friend requests, make sure you let us know, and we will send your gamer tag an invite on Rockstar Social to our crew, and then you can join up with us if you want and cause chaos and mayhem. Um, Normally, we end up going into the military base like most people, stealing stuff and getting into just general trouble.
Oh yeah.
I joined that just in case I got the game and gold.
I'm going to join like probably this weekend or something, and then on a weeknight when I have a few bucks, I will go to this place and I will sit down in an Xbox in there and pop in GTA 5, and I will pretty much have the place to myself. I'll make sure to bring a headset.
Off to this. I will find someone who has better internet, so it can work.
Yeah, yeah, because I think we've learned that your 3G is actually worse.
4G, by the way. Uh, yeah, I had to
XG.
cancel. Basically, what happened was we were doing a GTA 5 Let's Play, and my internet speed is at most, let's see,
At
3 megabytes per second download, and I think I got lucky by point
You
10.
say that like it's a bad thing. I have like 1.4 megabytes of a download speed on Steam,
It's more the
and
upload is at point 10.
oh,
uh,
oh, the upload for me is fantastic. Well, here
well,
anyway. My mom's house, it's abysmal.
I would just like to say I am very happy that I live in a major metropolitan area.
Fuck you.
I want to live there too.
I live like right next to like the boonies.
I live
Do you have
5 miles from the
FiOS?
Pentagon.
Oh,
I no, I don't. I don't have Verizon FiOS. I have AT&T Uverse.
uh,
Oh my
I
uh,
don't
god.
I don't like
oh.
AT&T, but this is the best.
Uh-oh.
This the unless we want to go with Comcast, which we have not had the best experiences with Comcast in Philadelphia, which I will get to that story in a second. It is not a dial story. AT&T is the best option that we have here
The
in
only internet we
in
have up
terms of
here.
internet.
Oh, yeah, the only internet we have up here is I think is Verizon, and the internet's so bad. I think it would be cheaper to get like to get a 4G modem and get a data plan. I think it would be cheaper to do that than actually continue with the internet.
Yeah, but with Comcast and Philadelphia, there was a point when I was younger. I think it was the late '90s, early 2000s, even mid '90s. Comcast was the dominant cable provider in the city of Philadelphia, and no one was satisfied with the service. It would often go out and calling up support, they would not say anything. It's just like, oh yeah, it'll be up sometime. And they wouldn't tell you what was wrong. So people started to go to other providers when they came around, specifically like DirecTV. So Comcast, who wanted more business, decided to buy the exclusive rights to the Philadelphia Flyers so that to watch a Flyers home game, you had to have Comcast. And people in Philadelphia love the Flyers. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that sort of stuff's been happening recently. But
This was years ago, though.
well, no, even today, I know out in LA, I think oh, was it I think it might have been Verizon that bought up the Dodgers rights to broadcast or someone did. I'm anyways. Uh yeah, it's still a modern thing that is still occurring, which is it's sort of annoying that these internet companies sort of come in and have a monopoly in certain areas, and you just can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Because they can give you the crappiest customer service they possibly can, and no one can do jack about it.
Yeah, like look at that episode of South Park. It's like, oh, you could just go to another. Oh, I'm sorry. We're the only one in town. As he says as he rubs his nipples. I
Hmm.
loved that episode.
um, so just to finish everything off here, as we're winding down the podcast, few last things. Just wanted to give everyone listening a heads up. We are currently preparing for what we're calling the winter update for Machinination. Obviously, this is part of it, and there will be more information about the rest of the winter update as winter approaches, because winter is coming, at least if you're in the northern hemisphere. Uh, and so stay tuned for that. There's actually some pretty interesting stuff that is coming back that we haven't even talked about yet. But anyways, does anyone have anything else to say before we sign off here?
Pokemon X and Y are awesome.
Yes, yes, they are.
We will probably be talking about that and stuff like after this is over.
Someone
There you
give me better internet. Please
Dial?
help me.
No.
Dial's tempted to do a story, isn't he?
Dial.
Ooh.
I ordered Domino's earlier.
And
I want Domino's now.
No, you
I
don't. You
God
really.
damn it, I want Vito's. I want a local pizza joint.
Anyways, thanks for tuning in to the Machinination podcast.
The
We're
revival.
glad to be back, and we'll see you next month when we have the next one.
Ho, 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 ho.